Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making headlines this hour, details on a new study that shows children are now becoming infected with COVID-19 faster than adults.
Plus, time is running out for you to help police find those responsible in an area murder case.
Outside with live cam, nothing really happening here in San Antonio right now, but there's some storms way out there. Could this be a sign of things to come later on today? We'll talk to Mike coming up. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, new month. It is September 1st.
That's right. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. And Mike put out an alert this morning that it's kind of like a steam bath outside.
It is still a steam bath, but I do have a question about these storms. Could they make it all the way to San Antonio, Mike?
These in particular may actually die down, but there's some energy out there to the west, which is going to start to move on in here. So we do have a chance of rain later on tonight, as well as tomorrow. So we're going to, after we get past today, we're going to start to see some kind of pattern changes coming around here. So.
Welcome changes.
Oh, yeah, yes, indeed. That goes without saying. So, yeah, steam bath right now, and it's going to be hot and very humid all day long. We have a dew point, once again, mid-70s. I mean, mid and even some upper 70s all around the area. So everybody is suffering through this steam bath. And right now it feels like 94 in New Braunfels, 96 in Gonzales. We are going to have heat index readings way up there again today. So here's these showers and thunderstorms way out there to the west. Some may actually hold together and affect northern Val Verde County, but these in particular may actually start to die down. But there's some energy which is going to be moving on in here. Like I said, that's going to give us some rain chances then later on tonight and in the overnight hours, and probably even hang around a little bit into tomorrow. Now, we do have another heat advisory in effect for everybody except the hill country. Again, those heat index readings are going to be well up there in the 105, 110 range at least. CPS Energy is asking you to conserve between 3 and 7 o'clock later on today. Mold is on the low side, so temperatures will be staying in the upper 70s, maybe some low 80s this morning with a lot of clouds around here, and those stubborn clouds like yesterday, and then 100 for a high temperature later on today. Partly cloudy and, of course, very humid. Then we have those rain chances tonight, and we are looking at this. It's looking like it's going to be the last triple-digit day, hopefully for the year, and temperatures will start to decline slowly going into the weekend, and we'll keep some rain chances around. We'll get that sorted out. It's an encouraging forecast, so more on that coming up. Time saver traffic right now. Here's Officer Marcus Trujillo. Good morning, sir.
Well, good morning to you, Mike. Good morning, everyone at home and those hoping to head home soon. Let's take a look at the map. Right now, no incidents out there on the highway, so the traffic flow right now looks pretty good. So if you're out and about, whether you're headed home from the overnight shift or just starting your day, so far you have open roads out there. I-10 and Frio is eastbound and westbound lanes running smoothly with no problems there. 1604 at John Peace. And then take a look at Highway 90 at 36th Street, eastbound and westbound lanes. So far, still running smoothly. Marcus, Stephanie.
Thank you, Marcus. Some good news in the midst of the pandemic. Our COVID risk meter is now dropping down even further between safe and moderate.
Our Sarah Costa joins us live in the studio with the new details. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. 40 new cases are shown in the most recent report, and our positivity rate is dropping as well. It's down from 9.9% to 7.8%. But the number of COVID-19 patients hospitalized has increased since the last report to 386 people. 155 are in the ICU and 95 people are on ventilators. Meanwhile, another 7 deaths have been confirmed. Some of those deaths occurred between July 2nd and July 29th. We now have a total of 809 people who have died in Bexar County since this pandemic started. Officials are aiming for a goal of a 5% weekly positivity rate before schools can bring more students back on campus. You can read about that on the latest on KSAT.com. Just look for the story on our homepage. Mark and Stephanie.
Meanwhile, a new study shows coronavirus infections are increasing faster among children than adults.
And while parents and teachers focus on schools, sports fans now have something new to focus on. ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi has the latest.
This morning, the U.S. Open underway and under wraps.
I have more matches under my belt with no fans than I do with fans.
Competitors and coaches now living in a bubble in 2 hotels. No fans in the stadium and players facing a grueling testing schedule after Benoit Paire was forced to withdraw.
You know, it is unfortunate we had a player test positive yesterday, but it's not unexpected.
Just a few miles away, a brewing battle over classes reopening in the nation's largest school district. New York City teachers threatening to vote as early as today on whether to go on strike for the first time in nearly 50 years amid concerns about COVID safety protocols.
We'll know shortly over the next couple of days if we're going to have a major war.
In Massachusetts, these teachers refusing to enter their school during preparations for the students' return, instead working outside on picnic tables and beach chairs. Their school committees now pursuing legal action against them. As for schools already online,
you're going to see your teacher on Monday morning. You're going to engage with your teacher every day during a regular schedule.
New concerns about some kids getting left behind. Photos of children searching for internet service and drawing national attention, including this photo of kids sitting in a Taco Bell parking lot for the free Wi-Fi. Despite a drop in daily coronavirus cases, deaths are on the rise in 25 states. In Detroit, the city's nearly 1,000 victims honored Monday with special funeral processions, along with hundreds of billboards showing the faces of those lost. But in Texas this morning, a symbol of hope.
I thought that only my baby was going to survive. I didn't think I was.
A mother giving birth to a healthy baby just 2 months after battling the virus. She credits a plasma donation and her daughter for her incredible recovery.
She's my motivation. She kept me going. I didn't want to lose my baby.
Mona Kosar Abdi, ABC News, New York.
And here at home, there's a $10,000 reward for any information on a capital murder case involving a man who killed a convenience store clerk in Gardner Ridge back on July 29th. Officers say a man wearing a red bandana and armed with a gun went to the Easy Mart and shot Pollyanna Smotherin. That suspect took off with cash and lottery tickets. A $10,000 reward in that case is set to expire by the end of this month. If you can help, you are asked to call 830-620-TIPS.
Now to a silver alert. San Antonio Police Department searching for Joe Becton Tucker Jr., diagnosed with a cognitive impairment. He's a white male, 79 years old, about 5'7", weighs around 170 pounds, was wearing glasses, tan shirt, and with black square patterns and khaki pants. Last seen around 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon in the 14,000 block of Hillside Ridge. Could be driving a white 2014 Jeep Patriot, Texas license plate DHZ 1898. Law enforcement believe he poses a credible threat to his own health and safety. If you have any information on this missing senior, contact the San Antonio Police Department at 210-207-7660.
Time now is 4:37 and 83 degrees for now.
Still ahead, a first look at Liberty University investigating its former president Jerry Falwell Jr. after he resigned during a scandal.
And also next, an update on oil production in the Gulf following Hurricane Laura and what it's doing to gas prices around the state.
Outside with live cam, a chance at showers and storms, some changes to the extended forecast, some welcome news. We've already chatted about that, but we'll get some details coming up with meteorologist Mike Osterhage. The man who saved hundreds of Rwandans during the 1994 genocide is now under arrest on terrorism charges. Paul Rusesabagina sheltered Rwandans in the hotel he managed, inspiring the film Hotel Rwanda, starring Don Cheadle. He has now spoken a critic of President Paul Kagame's government. He's not been formally charged in court.
It's been a month since a deadly blast hit Beirut, killing at least 170 people. Today, the French president is in Lebanon. It's just hours after Parliament designated a new prime minister. After months of protests over corruption and a tanking economy, that blast was the final straw for much of the public there. Thousands demanded the government resign, and it did. On September 1st, Lebanon marks 100 years since France helped establish Greater Lebanon. President Macron is returning for the anniversary. Mr. Macron is calling on the international community to step in or risk yet another civil war in Lebanon.
Oil production in the Gulf of Mexico is still down after Hurricane Laura hit last week. The Department of the Interior says output is off by about 70% as companies continue to send crews back to rigs. But the Port of Houston, which is the country's biggest energy export port, is now back to normal. When it comes to gas prices, AAA says the national price of gas has spiked about 5 cents to an average of $2.23 a gallon. Texas has an average of $1.90 for a gallon of regular unleaded. San Antonio even lowered $1.80. And that's still about 45 cents cheaper than San Antonio saw this time last year.
We're lucky to be in San Antonio.
We are. 442, 83 degrees.
And when it comes to thawing meats for dinner, the wrong way can make you sick. We're going to tell you the do's and don'ts. That's just ahead.
And next, the latest on an investigation into former Liberty University professor Jerry Falwell Jr.
And welcome back. It is 4:45. Liberty University is announcing an investigation into its former president, Jerry Falwell Jr., after Falwell resigned. ABC's Kara Phillips has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, Liberty University announcing an independent investigation into its former president, Jerry Falwell Jr., after the embattled evangelical leader resigned amid an alleged sex scandal. The Board of Trustees issuing a statement last night, now calling for a thorough investigation into all financial, real estate, and legal matters while Falwell was at the helm of the school. His exit coming after an explosive news story about Falwell, his wife Becky, and a pool attendant and former business partner, Giancarlo Granda. The 29-year-old claiming he had a 7-year affair with Becky as Falwell at times looked on. Falwell denies any involvement.
He was aware from day one of our relationship.
So what could this investigation mean for Falwell? It's all coming up at 7 a.m. with your GMA First Look. I'm Kara Phillips, ABC News, New York.
Millions of people get food poisoning every year. One reason, meat not thawed properly.
So is it really okay to leave it out or run water over it or microwave it? 12 on your side's Marilyn Morris shows us the safest ways to get dinner on the table.
The freezer is how Giseni Tuneo saves time and money.
My strategy by, buying the food in bulk and key number one, separate it into small pieces.
When it comes to thawing meats, the wrong way may make you sick. Food safety experts say don't leave meat out on the counter to thaw and don't run hot water on it.
These methods allow parts of the food to reach temperatures above 40 degrees, which enables any bacteria there to multiply quickly, and this may lead to foodborne illness.
The safest way to thaw is in the fridge because foods maintain a safe temperature below 40 degrees. 1 pound of frozen ground beef or boneless chicken takes a full day. After thawing, poultry and seafood remain safe in the fridge for a day or two. Red meats are safe 3 to 5 days after thawing. Need dinner on the table fast? Put frozen meat in plastic and submerge in cold water. Keep it cold, changing it every 30 minutes. Thawing it this way will take about an hour for a pound of meat to thaw, but you then need to cook it immediately. If you're in a big hurry, there's a thaw setting on your microwave. But CR says parts of the food may begin to cook, encouraging bacteria growth. So if you thaw in the microwave, cook it immediately. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Food for thoughts. 447.
Let's go ahead and check traffic with Officer Marcus Trujillo.
With all those food tips, who's getting breakfast? Right now, as we take a look at the roadway, Mark, go ahead. We have no problems right now. Excuse me, Highway 90 at 36th Street. Still looking great out there, and 35 at 1604. You can see the north and southbound lanes still running smoothly. A little smudge there to the camera, but not too bad. And 410 at Fredericksburg Road, so far, no issues.
Looks good.
Thank you, Marcus. And wow, what a sunset behind you there, Mike, with the clouds kind of setting those beams of sunlight off in the distance.
Right, and what I think really hits home is the caption on it. It says, even with triple-digit temperatures, it's a beautiful sunset. Yes, that is true, especially if you're inside looking at it from through a big plate glass window, big picture windows. No, but thank you very much. And yes, sunsets are absolutely gorgeous, and triple-digit temperatures may become a thing of the past. You gotta wait for a couple of days at least. Once again, you can just sort of see how humid it is out there because the lights just aren't that crisp and distinct. We are looking at 100 again today. A lot of triple-digit temperatures all around the area, and of course, it's the heat index, and these numbers, I mean, look at some of the forecasts, 112, 115 for heat index readings, especially to the south and west, 108 here in town, 111 is the forecast heat index in Pleasanton, because again, the humidity is going to be just sky high, steam bath out there. All right, we do have some showers and some thunderstorms well out to the west. They are starting to maybe edge their way into extreme western Val Verde County, kind of sliding up to the northeast. And these in themselves look like they're going to be falling apart in the next couple of hours, but there's still going to be a lot of leftover energy out there. So going into later on this morning, even this computer model is not really initializing with any of those showers out there, but it does pick up some of the energy that's going to be working its way on in here. And this is going to be later on this afternoon, even in toward dinner time, when we start to see some of those showers and thunderstorms out in western parts of the hill country. And then those will continue to work their way across the area. And then into late tonight, we see more of those showers and thunderstorms move through here. The majority of everything is going to be well up there to the north. And then we'll have a few leftovers, it looks like, in behind it. And it's now looking like we have some leftover energy around here throughout a good chunk of the day tomorrow to keep us with at least about a 30% chance for a few showers and thunderstorms tomorrow in the morning hours. And again, just some scattered ones later on in the afternoon. And this pattern does look like it's going to sort of repeat itself then the next couple of days. Probably a lesser chance for rain on Thursday, but then that rain chance will start to go up a little bit once we get into Friday. Also, later on this evening, some of those thunderstorms could be on the strong side just because the way the atmosphere is set up and so hot and all this humidity, and could have some pretty good downdrafts with these. And so therefore there is the marginal risk for a couple of those to be strong or severe later on. And also on top of that, again, we always say it's feast or famine. There could be some pretty hefty downpours. Now, granted, the ground is so dry, it's probably just going to, soak it up like a sponge. But still, you got to watch out for some of those heavier downpours, potentially in parts of the hill country. 92 degrees today at noon, partly cloudy skies, high temperature 100. Southeasterly wind continues to pump in the humidity, so it is going to be, again, a steam bath out there. We do have the heat advisory. Does not really include the hill country. A lot more clouds out there with somewhat lower temperatures, but everybody else, boy, it's going to be a scorcher today. Showers, a couple of thunderstorms tomorrow. Still going for some upper 90s, but then temperatures will continue to trim off as we go into the latter part of the week and the weekend. And probably of the next 7 days, the best rain chances, I'm looking at late tonight, tomorrow, and then again Friday and Saturday, and just a couple of them around here on Sunday.
Steph, what's your favorite part of that extended forecast there?
The weekend, definitely.
And a 3-day weekend, of course.
Yes.
Monday's Labor Day,
It's
too.
looking good. How appropriate.
Yes, it is.
Happy first day of September, everybody. Right now, 4:52, 83 degrees.
And still ahead, a major milestone for Ariana Grande. We're going to tell you what the superstar singer is celebrating.
Pick three numbers this morning are 624 Fireball 8, Daily 4, 6633 Fireball 6.
Cash 5, 7, 11, 20, 28, 29. And your Texas two-step 9, 29, 34, 35, 28.
Five till singer Ariana Grande breaks through a barrier, and the K-pop group BTS is also making history.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
A whopping 20 new sexual assault charges against adult film star Ron Jeremy. He was charged Monday in Los Angeles with new counts of rape and sexual assault against 12 women and a teenage girl. Jeremy's been in jail since June after being arrested for the rape and sexual assault of 4 other women. He's pleaded not guilty in those charges. K-pop group BTS lighting it up and making history. Their new single Dynamite is #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 singles chart, making them the first South Korean group to ever reach #1. Dynamite, their first English language song, hits #1 after breaking records with the video's debut, and it had the biggest digital sales week in almost 3 years. Meanwhile, Taylor Swift is #1 for a 5th straight week on the Billboard 200 album chart with Folklore, the longest consecutive run at #1 so far this year. A major milestone for Ariana Grande, the superstar singer is the first woman to reach 200 million followers on Instagram. Just last year, Grande dethroned Selena Gomez as the most followed woman. Currently, Kylie Jenner is hot on Grande's heels in second with 193 million. The most followed overall, though, remains soccer star Cristiano Ronaldo with 237 million. And happy birthday, Zendaya. The Emmy-nominated Euphoria star is 24 today, while Grammy-winning singer Gloria Estefan is 63. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Going to try out her restaurant over at the Rim on Thursday.
Oh, very good.
Gloria's, yep.
You have to let us know.
Yeah, okay, I will. 4:57, 83 degrees.
And still ahead in our next half hour, President Donald Trump heads to Kenosha, Wisconsin today. We're going to have more on his push for law and order during civil unrest. in many cities across the nation.
Still ahead, drone deliveries could be in your future. We'll have more details on Amazon getting its approval to test its fleet of prime air delivery drones.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
President Trump heading to Kenosha, Wisconsin later today. I'm Inez de la Cuetara in Washington, and I'll have all the details coming up.
Plus, a local family is demanding justice after police say someone opened fire on a car, killing their loved one.
And taking a look out with live cam this morning, it is a humid 83 degrees, but if we can make it through the steam bath, we might get some rain soon. We're going to check in with Mike in just a bit.
Good morning to you. It is Tuesday and happy first day of September.
Yes, happy Tuesday. We're excited about those rain chances. Can't wait to talk about it, Mike.
And Mike is tracking a few storms this morning.
Yeah, out to the west. Some folks in Val Verde County may see a little bit of rain later on this morning, and then the better rain chances will start to work their way on in here probably late this afternoon out to the west, and then also on into this evening. And we'll start to see more of a kind of a pattern change as the week rolls on. So yeah, 83 degrees right now. 10 degrees above normal. That top number over there, 75, the dew points remain just sky high. So yeah, it still remains a steam bath out there. The aquifer did drop down a little more than a half a foot yesterday. So obviously we're still sitting well below the 10-day average of well below 660 on the 10-day average, I should say. And mold is on the low side. So as far as the rain out to the west, it's nice to see something showing up on radar, because I can't remember the last time it seems like we saw anything on radar. And these showers and thunderstorms, like I said, are going to start to creep their way into Val Verde County later on this morning, kind of working their way up to the northeast somewhat. And it also appears as though these will start to sort of die down a little bit, but there's more energy out to the west, which is going to work its way through the hill country, and then especially kind of northern half of the area later on, like I said, this afternoon, then tonight, as well as in the overnight hours. Now, some of those storms could be on the strong, potentially severe side, just because of some really gusty winds are possible, and so therefore, Storm Prediction Center has that marginal risk for a strong to severe storm from about roughly Blanco back down toward Del Rio, and also, which does not constitute a severe storm, but some heavy downpours can be expected with some of those storms as well. Heat advisory, basically I-35 and south and east of there through 8 o'clock tonight. Heat index readings are going to be well up about 105, 110. CPS Energy is asking to conserve power between 3 and 7 today. Mold being on the low side. And as far as the rest of today, very humid this morning, hot, humid, and those really high heat index readings. Then tonight, we do have few showers, some thunderstorms out there, about a 30-40% chance of rain, especially kind of edging up to the north. Some of those could be on the strong side, and I think we'll still see some around here in and around the metropolitan area. And then as the week rolls on, highs start to go down a little bit more in toward the mid-90s, and a couple of showers around here, and some actually encouraging rain chances at times. Details in just a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic right now. Officer Marcus Trujillo, anything going on, sir?
Nope.
Good.
Right now, as we take a look at the roadways, fortunately, no accidents. We're off to a better start than yesterday. Let's hope it stays that way. I-10 looks pretty good all the way from La Cantera into I-10 at Frio, the upper and lower deck, so no problems there. I-10 at UTSA, so far smooth sailing eastbound and westbound. Mark and Stephanie?
Thank you very much, Marcus. Human remains recently discovered during an archaeological investigation in a downtown park.
They are set to be removed today after a ceremony. Our Sarah Costa joins us live. Now, Sarah, where are those remains?
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. Well, they were found in Milan Park. That's next to Market Square on Santa Rosa Street near West Commerce and West Houston Streets. Later this morning, a brief spiritual ceremony from the 1718 San Antonio Founding Families and Descendants Group is scheduled to happen before crews exhume those remains. The remains will then be moved to be temporarily stored at the UTSA Center for Archaeological Research before they are reburied. The Public Works Department says the Bexar County District Court granted the city's petition for today's process. The city will not re-enter the human remains until construction of all three projects are completed, which is scheduled for the summer of 2023. Once it is completed and the crews have a better understanding of the project area, the city plans to meet with all descendant groups to discuss the reburial efforts. Now, that spiritual ceremony will take place sometime this morning between 8:30 and 10 o'clock. Stephanie?
Thank you, Sarah. A family demanding answers after their loved one was gunned down. Police say 17-year-old Xavier Esquivel was driving a car at the intersection of Olive and Aransas when someone shot at him at least 20 times. 3 others were in the car as well. The family says they were all hit by gunfire, including the soon-to-be mother of Esquivel's unborn child.
For somebody that pulled that trigger, or multiple people that pulled that trigger, that they could come up forward, and I know it's going to be hard, but at the end of the day, if it's not going to be us down here that you get the justice from, it's going to be from God.
And at this time, San Antonio police are investigating this as a targeted shooting. They believe the people responsible were driving a white Chevy Tahoe. If you have any information that could lead to an arrest, you are asked to call the homicide unit. That number is 210-207-7635.
As the fall campaign swings into full gear, Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden is accusing President Donald Trump of failing to keep Americans safe.
And now President Donald Trump hitting back. ABC's Inez de la Cuetara is in Washington with the latest.
With the election now 63 days away, Democratic nominee Joe Biden hitting the campaign trail and accusing the president of failing to keep Americans safe.
We're facing multiple crises. Crises under Donald Trump have kept multiplying.
Biden arguing Trump is a failed leader for his mishandling of the pandemic.
Do you know what people are afraid of in America? They're afraid they're going to get COVID. They're afraid they're going to get sick and die. And that is in no small part, it's because of you.
And shrugging off the president's accusations that he is soft on crime.
Ask yourself, do I look like a radical socialist with a soft spot for rioters? Really? I want a safe America.
President Trump hitting back.
We have to stop this horrible left-wing ideology that seems to be permeating our country. And basically it's weakness on behalf of Democrat politicians.
Trump set to visit Kenosha, Wisconsin today, which is at the heart of a new wave of protests in the aftermath of Jacob Blake's shooting. But Wisconsin's governor and Kenosha's mayor urging President Trump to stay away, arguing his visit would do little to heal the city's wounds. Overnight, the president said he still plans to go.
It could increase love and respect for our country.
The president also defended Kyle Rittenhouse, the teenager accused of fatally shooting 2 demonstrators in Kenosha.
He was trying to get away from them, I guess. He probably would have been killed. It's under investigation.
Trump did say he does not believe private citizens should be taking up arms at protests, but he declined to condemn a caravan of his supporters in Portland who clashed with protesters demanding racial justice. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News, Washington.
507, 83 degrees.
Still ahead in Tech Bites, TikTok has chosen a bidder for its U.S. business and could announce the deal as soon as today.
And next, a closer look at what goes on into the work of court-appointed attorneys here in Bexar County.
And taking a look outside with live cam. Yes, a steam bath this morning at 83 degrees, but we are looking forward to rain. We're going to check in with Mike once more after the break.
511, there was recently a committee of judges and lawyers established to monitor the work of court-appointed attorneys here in Bexar County.
So KSAT crews decided to take a closer look at what they do. Here's Paul Venema.
David Murphy was on trial facing assault charges. He was accused of attacking a bailiff.
This blood from Murphy.
James Olderstorff was his court-appointed attorney.
I give the same effort to whether it's court-appointed or retained.
Olderstorff admits that clients sometimes accuse court-appointed attorneys of not giving the case their all. But he agrees with other attorneys like James Tochi, who represented Robert Allen in this 2019 murder case.
I learned a long time ago that you do not treat them any differently than you would somebody that came into your office and hired you.
There's a considerable difference in the compensation in these cases. It depends on the severity of the offense and the time involved. The pay for misdemeanor cases runs in the neighborhood of $200. Felony cases may go up to $750 and could involve hourly fees.
Is the compensation for court-appointed attorneys, in your opinion, adequate?
In my opinion, no. I mean, definitely not. I've thought this for many, many years.
Still, there's an upside to payment. According to Olderstorff, it's guaranteed.
The fee schedule is fair. You don't have to worry about
your client having to lose his job or your client's family having to do without to be able to pay for a trial.
Those fees are paid by county commissioners as part of the annual county budget. The attorneys are selected through a voluntary system called The Wheel. With the backstory, I'm Paul Venema.
Now 5:13, 83 degrees.
And still ahead, if you're planning a trip to Disney World anytime soon, there are some resorts you will not be able to visit just yet.
And next, first look at a Samsung event today. Expect to show off the new Galaxy Z Fold 2. There's more to that name.
Hey there, Robert Larson here. You know, with Simply Safe, you get comprehensive, professionally monitored home security without having to leave your house or have anyone to come install it. You simply order it online, it gets delivered to your door, and you can set it up yourself in just a few minutes. Imagine that. So take it from an expert. Get Simply Safe and protect your home, your family, and anything else you need to keep a close eye on.
When migraine strikes, dissolve it with Nurtac. The only quick dissolve treatment for migraine attacks that can get many people back to normal activities and last up to 48 hours with just one dose. Wonderful. Don't take if allergic to Nurtac. The most common side effect was nausea. Nurtac. One dose. Wonderful.
5:16, TikTok has reportedly chosen a bidder for its U.S. assets. ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi has details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, a buyer for TikTok. Reports say a deal for the app's U.S. operations could be announced as soon as today. Oracle and Microsoft, in partnership with Walmart, are the top contenders. The sale price is expected to be at least $20 billion. A big reveal is coming from Samsung. The tech giant unveils the Galaxy Z Fold 2. At a virtual event, it's expected to include a redesigned hinge, an improved front-facing display, and 5G. Pre-orders for the newest foldable also start today. And Amazon Prime Air is almost cleared for takeoff. The service received a certificate from the FAA over the weekend to allow drone deliveries here in the U.S. Amazon can now begin making test drop-offs to customers. The service already operates in England, taking same-day delivery to new heights. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
One of Disney World's most popular resorts hasn't reopened just yet, and Walmart has a new subscription plan.
Our Sarah Costa has today's top consumer stories. Good morning, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Good morning. Well, watch out Amazon, because Walmart has a new subscription plan that has a lot of similarities to Amazon Prime membership. But first, Disney World visitors hoping for a Pacific-inspired stay are going to have to wait just a bit longer. Disney World Resorts is postponing the reopening of its Polynesian Village until next summer. The company's Beach Club Resort and Boardwalk Inn are also closed without any targeted reopening date. The problem is Central Florida's attractions have failed to lure a large number of visitors back to Orlando as it wrestles with the coronavirus. Orlando's hotel occupancy is at just under 30%. The national average is almost 50%. Hotels at Universal Orlando Resort announced they are furloughing or terminating more than 800 employees. Universal opened its Florida theme parks back up in June. Disney World opened in July, and Disneyland in California has yet to reopen. Well, Walmart is getting ready to offer a new membership program to all shoppers. The retail giant says it will soon launch Walmart Plus. The program is expected to include unlimited free delivery on orders $35 or more, according to Walmart customers. They will have the option of same-day deliveries on more than 160,000 items, from groceries to tech and toys. Walmart Plus will also feature a new scan and go option for in-store shopping. It will be similar to one offered to Sam's Club members. The program launches on September 15th. Walmart Plus will cost $98 a year or $12.95 a month. Guys?
Thank you, Sarah. 5:19.
Let's go ahead and check traffic with Officer Marcus Trujillo.
And here's a look way ahead to some cooler times. Very Christmassy picture here. This is starting to look like the camera. What is the other one we had with a silvery tone like this? 2D1 and Grayson. Starting to look the same way. This is 35 Ben Zingelman. I don't see any Christmas presents, so right now roadways are clear. The lanes are clear there. 35 at Olympia Parkway. no problem. And Mark's about to tell us just how many more days before Christmas. 410 at Cherry Ridge, travel in both directions, still running smoothly. And 30, there's that silvery picture. Then 410 Austin Highway, no issues.
As Mike whistles, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. 115.
There you go.
Really?
150.
As Mike whistles, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
I was going to say I have green on and Sarah had red on, so we are celebrating early.
Come on. It's September 1st.
Folks, it's not Labor Day yet.
I know.
Right.
Who was it? Somebody the other day, I think I was talking to or posted that they were getting out their Halloween decorations.
It wasn't me.
I don't know. Christmas stuff's in stores now. You know, the hardware stores, stuff like that.
It is?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, you have to have it out now. You have to have it out now, especially with all the mail order stuff, because it takes longer to get there.
Mike, when you go into Home Depot or Lowe's, instead of taking them right, look left.
Oh, I know.
You'll see all the Christmas stuff
right there when they put the seasonal stuff. So, and then the problem is, if you need something on the 16th of December, it's all gone. It's all
too late.
Yeah, that's
anyway, all right.
16th of November.
Take a look at this once again. That beautiful sunset from yesterday, which was absolutely gorgeous. And this morning, I mean, just look at the haze. You know, the lights are all foggy looking, and there's no fog. It's just because of all that humidity out there, not that crisp, dry air, which is much clearer that we had even a couple of weeks ago. All right, 90 is what it feels like here in town. 94 in New Braunfels, 95 in Gonzales, and then basically add about 20 degrees to the current heat index, and that's what it's going to feel like later on today. We're looking at 105, 110, or even higher than that throughout many areas. So we do have heat advisories that are posted for a good chunk of the area. Again, I'm going to show you that in a second. We got some showers and thunderstorms, and they have not yet moved into Valverde County. And as you can see, everything is kind of working its way off to the northeast. And some of these may start to drift to the east a little bit more. And then it does look like they're going to be dying down by later on this morning. Now, computer models. We've got a lot of clouds around this morning, more sunshine later on today. And then later on this afternoon, approaching dinner times when we're going to start to see more. There's still some energy out there. We'll see more of those showers and thunderstorms develop, and then this whole line does appear to work its way off to the east, and this is going to be through the evening hours and then into late tonight, approaching about news time, and then in the overnight hours, some of those showers, some thunderstorms, they will continue to slide off to the east. Now, some of those could have some hefty downpours with them, maybe some very blustery winds as well. Tomorrow morning, we may have a scattered shower or two around the area, and then throughout the day, we will have a couple of more of those trying to develop in the afternoon and even on into tomorrow night. So it's a decent chance of rain tonight. Now, as I was talking about, some of those storms could have some pretty gusty winds and maybe a little bit of tiny hail, but I think winds are going to be the biggest threat with that. So there is a marginal risk for some of that severe storms later on tonight in northwest portions of the hill country. Looking ahead, and here's the disturbance that's going to give us this chance for some rain. Otherwise, the high pressure is kind of in control, and it is going to sort of ease its grip. And with the extra cloud cover around here, that's going to hold temperatures down a little bit as we go in toward the weekend. And we are still looking at a fairly pronounced trough to move down in here by the middle part of next week. Some computer models are still in agreement with this situation, bring down maybe one of our first significant fronts of the season. But again, it's still a week away, so a lot can change between now and then. Sometimes long-range computer models get a little over anxious with those. Anyway, as far as today is concerned, 92 degrees, partly cloudy skies at noon, and later on this afternoon, partly cloudy, very, very humid. Well out to the west, we may see a few of those thunderstorms trying to develop by late the afternoon in toward dinner time. Again, heat index is going to feel like it's about 105 to 110, so that's prompting the heat advisory for a good chunk of the area, basically on 35 and southeast of there. 98 tomorrow, 96 on Thursday. We see a slow trend in temperatures going downward. And we're looking at mid-lowerish 90s by the weekend. I think the best rain chances are going to be late tonight, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. Still a couple of showers here and there around there.
Oh, we know September can be a scorcher too, Mike Osterhage, but can we pretty please maybe be done with the extreme heat for a little while?
2000, hottest temperature ever, 111 on September the 5th.
Okay, there goes our premise out the window.
And it was it 05, I think?
Wow.
We had that stretch in the third week of September. It's like 105, 106 all week long.
Days and days and days and days. Oh,
I'm not.
But
right, you're not against it.
I hope it Labor Day brings the start of fall,
Right.
too. So.
It looks good for now.
He's not opposed to the idea.
We're
But
happy
numbers
about
don't
that.
lie, do they? 524, 83 degrees.
And coming up next, we were just talking about Christmas. What do you know? We're going to have a preview of Mariah Carey's Magical Christmas Special.
Yes, Mike, but Mariah Carey can sing.
Oh.
In entertainment news, Mariah Carey getting her very own Christmas special.
Here's CNN's Douglas Hyde with the Hollywood Minute.
Dynamite has exploded onto the charts and into history. The new single from BTS debuted at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 Songs chart. It's their first #1 hit and the first time an all-South Korean act has held the top spot. Dynamite is also the K-pop boy band's first song sung entirely in English. If all you want for Christmas is a new Mariah Carey holiday special, well, your wish is granted. Apple TV Plus just announced that Mariah Carey's Magical Christmas Special will premiere this holiday season, 25 years after the singer released her famous Yuletide anthem, All I Want for Christmas Is You. The special will feature hits from her catalog of holiday songs and surprise guest appearances. Queen and Adam Lambert are set to release their first live concert album this fall. Live Around the World will drop in October and contains highlights from over 200 live performances personally selected by Lambert and the band. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
529, 83 degrees.
And still ahead in our next half hour, the U.S. has now topped 6 million coronavirus cases in about 7 months. But there is some good news ahead.
And next, how a special compliance team is making sure local bars and restaurants are following county and state COVID-19 rules. Good morning to you. It is Tuesday and it's September 1st.
Happy Tuesday, happy September, happy cooler temperatures, a little cooler.
And happy chances of rain, Mike Osterhage?
Yes, we do have some rain chances coming in here tonight, so that's nice. And as far as cooler temperatures, not this morning. Got to wait a couple of days for that because it's still just a steam bath out there this morning. Yesterday, we hit 101, 102 Hondo, 103 in Pleasanton. And right now, temperatures have not even dropped down 20 degrees, and that's because of all that humidity. Some of the cloud cover doesn't cool down as easily as very, very dry air does. So, yeah, we're about 10 degrees above normal as of right now. Most everybody in the 80s, just a few exceptions down in the 70s. We do have some showers and thunderstorms way out to the west, just west of Valverde County. And it looks as though every time it looks like they want to kind of edge their way into Valverde County, the leading edge sort of cuts off a little bit, and these are sort of drifting a little bit more up to the northeast. Now, these in itself are looking like they're going to be dying down in the next couple of hours. However, we will have still some energy left over, and that's going to move in here late this afternoon and tonight. So that brings about those okay rain chances. I mean, some of the best we've seen around here in forever, it seems like. There's also a heat advisory once again in effect today for basically along 35 and southeast of there. Heat index readings 105, 110. CBS Energy is asking that you cut back on energy use between 3 and 7 later on this afternoon. Mold's on the light side. And as far as the rest of today, yep, triple digits again. This is looking like it's going to be the last of the the streak of triple digits we've been going through the last for a few days, because temperatures will make a slow decline in the next few days, and we'll still keep a couple of rain chances around. Details in just a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic right now. Officer Marcus Trujillo, not much going on this morning, huh?
It's been quiet so far. Hopefully it'll stay that way for the rest of the morning commute for all the folks that do have to get up and venture out this morning. Right now, take a look at the map. Everything in the green, so that's the great news as we move over to TransGuide. 1604 John Peace, no issues there. A little bit more traffic here, 410 at Austin Highway, but at this point, really not too bad, and no delays in anyone's travel times. 410 Cherry Ridge, still moving swiftly. Stephanie, Mark?
Thank you, Marcus. United States hitting another disturbing milestone in the coronavirus pandemic, 6 million confirmed cases.
But as CNN's Melissa Rainey reports, health experts say there is some good news.
COVID cases continue to hit grim milestones. Just over 7 months ago, no one in the U.S. had a confirmed case. Now the U.S. has topped 6 million cases. That's according to Johns Hopkins University. The somber reality that comes with those numbers, more than 183,000 people in the U.S. have died. In Los Angeles Monday, a memorial honored the more than 5,700 people who have died in that county alone. But despite those high numbers, there is some good news.
So as a nation, we are clearly doing better now on the last day of August than we were on the first day of August. The cases have come down. Deaths are starting to decline. Hospitalizations are down. This is good news.
Colleges across the country are working to stay ahead of outbreaks as some students return to campus. A New York university canceled in-person classes for at least 2 weeks after an outbreak there. That outbreak is linked to a large party. School leaders say dozens of students have been suspended for violating the code of conduct.
We have already suspended dozens of our students for violating codes of conduct. We have to instill in people that it's not just your actions. Your actions have consequences on everyone else. It could impact our faculty and get them sick. It can impact the student body population. So we're going to keep reinforcing that message, saying we want to keep these colleges open.
3 vaccines are now in phase 3 trials in the United States. Even so, health officials say a vaccine probably won't be publicly available until at least early 2021. I'm Melissa Rainey reporting.
New details are coming out about President Donald Trump's visit to Walter Reed Medical Center in November of 2019. According to an upcoming book by a New York Times reporter, Vice President Pence was put on standby to temporarily assume the powers of presidency. That was in case President Donald Trump had to undergo a procedure requiring anesthesia. At the time, the White House said the president was undergoing a, quote, quick exam and labs as part of his annual physical. But a person familiar with the matter says protocols were broken. The hospital did not get a staff-wide notice about the president's visit that indicates it was non-routine and scheduled at the last minute, according to the book. Now, the White House has declined to comment about that new report.
Wall Street is starting out this week with mixed results. The Dow will try to recover today after losing more than 200 points by the close of the day yesterday. The Nasdaq gained some ground, though, while the S&P 500 gave back just 7 points. The Dow just changed 3 of its largest holdings. It will add Honeywell, Salesforce, and Amgen, and kicked out ExxonMobil, Pfizer, and Raytheon. That should bring the Dow more in sync with the other 2 indices. Many investors consider the Dow synonymous with the market, but its portfolio of 30 handpicked stocks has been lagging lately.
Here at home, our KSAT community partners are working with the Boys and Girls Clubs of San Antonio for a supply drive benefiting students in need across the city. The organization is in need of pens, pencils, crayons, headphones, and glue sticks. If you would like to donate, you can head to ksatcommunity.com for more information on how to help.
Right now it's 5:37, 83 degrees.
And with stay-at-home learning also comes stay-at-home PE for kids. We're going to have some easy ways to get kids up and moving.
Changes to our South Texas weather forecast. Finally, some hopeful signs. We're not going to mention the fall word. I just did. Never mind. Mike's forecast is coming up. We'll talk about what's going to happen.
It's hopeful.
Police are asking the community to help them identify suspects wanted in 2 separate robbery and theft cases happening on the northeast side earlier this summer.
Our Sarah Costa joins us in the studio with more information on the cases and with the photos of the suspects. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning. And both of these incidents happening not far from each other on the northeast side, one in July and another in August. So let's go ahead and take a look. On July 27th, police say this man in these photos walked into a convenience store and used a stolen credit or debit card to pay for items. Police say that card was stolen in a robbery that happened earlier that same day. This happened at a convenience store in the 5300 block of Thousand Oaks off near the Wurzbach Parkway. Now let's head just a couple miles south of I-35 in the parking lot near Buffalo Wild Wings just past Walsham Row. Take a look at these photos. Police say a woman had fallen asleep in her car on August 11th while her son was waiting for help to change the car's flat tire. The woman told police these 2 men reached into her car and began taking items from her car while she slept. Police say they even took jewelry off of her. The woman woke up to the suspects attempting to steal from her, and she told police she then tried to fight them off from taking her jewelry. These 2 men in the photos ran off. If you know any information on either of these cases, you are urged to call Crime Stoppers. That number is on your screen, 210-224-STOP. Remember, if your information leads up to an arrest, you may earn up to $5,000 in cash, and you may remain anonymous. Mark and Stephanie?
Thank you, Sarah. Time now is 5:42 and 83 degrees for now.
We have up next a look at how a special compliance team is cracking down on bars and restaurants not following county and state COVID-19 orders. 5:45, a special compliance team has been buckling down on local bars and restaurants not following county and state COVID-19 orders.
23 citations were handed out to 12 restaurants and 5 restaurant bars over the weekend. This as many bar owners will look for ways to reopen their shuttered businesses. Now, the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission has been easing restrictions to help bars be able to open with a food and beverage certificate. The latest amendment eliminates the need for a commercial kitchen. It also allows prepackaged food to be sold or the use of a food truck on the bar property. 51% of the business sales have to come from food or merchandise and not alcohol. The owner of the Main Street Bar says it's quite a task for bars, but he has to try or risk closing.
Now we're going to have to branch out a little bit and try to offer some entrees and be a food forward type of business in order to run, or just to be allowed to open.
The new certification cost almost $800.
Well, while many students are stuck at home, one of the many school subjects that parents are now responsible for is physical education.
And if you need some help keeping your kids active, David Sears has a few ideas.
Since there are so many kids learning virtually, having to go to school without leaving their house, their brains are not the only thing that needs to be stimulated. They also need to make sure their bodies get some exercise as well while staying at home. And parents can make sure that happens. Doesn't have to be strenuous, just enough movement to make sure the blood gets circulating through the body. According to MommyPoppins.com, you focus on fun when it comes to getting your kids to move around, and that'll help you reach your goals. They have a list of 25 activities. Here's a few of them. Headstands. That'll get the blood to the brain and work the core muscles. They can jump rope. Obstacle courses around the furniture, or take some chalk and make a course in the backyard. Wheelbarrow, crab, and bear walk races, or other animal races like bunny hopping, frog jumping, duck waddling. Whatever it takes to get in some exercise work to go with that school work. David Sears, KSAT 12 News.
My daughter does that on her own. She'll hop. We have the bike inside the house right now, and then we've cleared a way, and she'll just hop on the bike and just go back and forth for a little bit, and she's like, I'm calling a timeout, and she just takes her own little break.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Let's see how things are looking out on the roads right now. It is 5:47. Here's Marcus.
Well, it's got to be more comfortable than trying to ride your bike outside the way that humidity
Well,
is.
That's true.
We take her once it's a little more tolerable outside.
Well, right now it's very tolerable out there on the roadways. No issues, no delays. Taking a look at some additional TransGuide cameras. I-10 and Medical. Eastbound and westbound lanes so far, no issues there. And 35 at Benzingham and starting to get a little bit of a steady stream on those southbound main lanes of 35. Up there a little bit further north, 35 at 410. So far, no issues there.
Thank you, Marcus. And this next photo Mike's got for us from KSAT Connect. You can still hear the sizzle even though that sun is on the horizon.
Yeah, it's an absolutely gorgeous picture. However, this is not the sun. It is the moon. No, wait, is that the moonrise? Yeah, to the east.
Oh,
that's
beautiful.
I think. Yeah, it appears to be the moon coming up. Yeah, and Mark is questioning.
No, that's what it says.
It's that nice orange glow, you know.
But I don't see the normal distinguishing features of the moon coming up.
A lot of times that early in the morning or that early in the evening, I don't think you really do that much, do you?
Okay. Well, Leah King, I don't doubt you. I'm just sorry.
A beautiful shot.
It's a beautiful picture, yes, indeed. But right as the sun is going down, when you have a moon almost full, it's actually full tomorrow, and they're just opposite each other. So you look to the west, you see the sun. Look to the east, and you're going to see the moon coming up. Now, this morning, I don't know if we're going to see any good sunrises just because we got a lot of our low clouds out there and all that humidity. Quick check of the tropics. Of course, this is the time of year when you see, you know, just like clockwork almost, all these disturbances coming off of Africa and working their way across the Atlantic Ocean. This is called the Intertropical Convergence zone, that little belt right there, kind of just the belt around the earth, if you will. And this is where these disturbances come in. And there's a couple of them out here that the Hurricane Center is watching. One very pronounced in the Caribbean as of right now. This one, however, right halfway, just about between Bermuda and the United States, that is Tropical Depression number 15. So that is something that That is not yet. However, Hurricane Center is watching it. Right now, it looks like it would stay well down to the south and move down in extreme southern Mexico as well as Central America and wouldn't have any impact on us. One thing that's impacting you is the humidity, which seems to be, you open up the door, it's like pushing you back inside. You want to go back inside with all this humidity with these dew points so high this morning. And yes, they will drop down a little bit. No, they won't drop down all that much. So it's still going to be extremely humid out there. So we're still going to have heat index readings, 105, 110, even higher than that. Your body just really has a tough time cooling itself. So that's why you just have to be very careful when you're outside in conditions like this. Showers and thunderstorms out to the west. Really, well, maybe they're just barely touching Valverde County. Most of those will stay out there and just kind of skirt our area, and they will begin to die down. But we'll have some more disturbances kind of firing up later on this afternoon, so that's going to help with more showers and thunderstorms by about dinner time out to the west, and then those will work their way to the east in the evening hours, and we may actually have a few okay thunderstorms, some decent downpours, maybe even some heavy downpours. So that's one thing we're going to have to watch out for, as well as some strong winds, because the way the atmosphere is set up, we could have some very hefty downdrafts from these, and so it could get blustery. Now, the rain chances, we'll still have a couple left over tomorrow morning, and then even just a few of them scattered about throughout the day tomorrow. Still about a 30% chance for some rain tomorrow. And as far as anything strong to severe, there is the marginal risk for a severe storm in northwest portions of the hill country. And I wouldn't be surprised, just looking at some of the computer models, if the Storm Prediction Center kind of moves this down to the east and to the southeast just a little bit once they update that later on this morning. So that's just a kind of a guess on my part with that. As far as forecast today, 92 at noon, partly cloudy skies. We're going to have a lot of stubborn morning clouds around here, and then a mixture of sunshine and clouds later on today. Really humid, so about 105, 110 for the heat index. Thermometer is going to hit 100. Heat advisory for the southeastern, about 2/3 of our viewing area, basically everybody except the hill country. Again, 100 today, 98 tomorrow, about a 30% chance for showers and thunderstorms. Those storms late tonight in the overnight hours. And Thursday, still a shower or two. I think the better chances of rain, though, will come back in here Friday and Saturday. And I'm kind of leaning toward the lower side. Some models are keeping us about 95, 96. I think with the cloud cover, we stay down a little bit. Still going to be very humid out there, but at least we will have some okay rain chances.
Are things even looking promising still at the end of next week for some potential cooler air?
Middle of next week is the timing on this. We still have a couple of computer models, long-range models, that are still kind of in agreement with this. Now, granted, again, it's a week away. It can change, but by late Tuesday, Wednesday, would be a significant front moving through here with the temperature-wise.
We'll take it. Thank you.
We will. Thank you, Mike. 552, 83 degrees.
And still ahead, executive producer Ridley Scott and the cast of a new HBO Max sci-fi drama talk about the upcoming series Raised by Wolves.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, America now surpassing 6 million coronavirus cases as back to school anxiety is at an all-time high. I know I experienced this yesterday with my boys. This morning, we are going to have more on a troubling new headline about the virus and kids. Top expert Dr. Anthony Fauci will join us live to talk all about it right here on GMA.
The Earth was destroyed by a great war. I was programmed to protect you. And now we start again.
A pair of androids set out to repopulate the human species on a new planet in Raised by Wolves.
Initiating trimester 1.
They were tasked with raising these children as atheists because, as we come to learn, there was a holy war that was responsible for ending life on Earth. But what they come to realize is these two androids is telling humans what to believe in is not very easy, and it can cause some serious problems if you don't do it right.
I think the debate that occurs constantly through the story is a pretty good debate to occur today, because don't we find that most religions create wars and vice versa, right? So, in fact, they do. And so religion is also politics. And when you get then the inevitable technology comes into it as well, you've got one unholy piece of chaos.
They believe that allowing androids to raise human children is a sin.
I think it was very, very helpful to shoot chronologically, and then very, very helpful to have Ridley Scott as a director. I think it was just, it wasn't a challenge, I think. It was more a fun discovery and exploration of what we could do with these characters, because there's so much meat on them, even though they're android.
You are all my children. I'm only here to protect you.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Still ahead in our next half hour, $10,000 up for grabs, but you only have till the end of this month. We'll have details next on GMSA. TransGuide to see how the morning commute is looking as we approach the top of the hour. There's I-10 at Frio. Marcus is standing by with a live update.
President Trump heading to Kenosha, Wisconsin later today. I'm Inez de la Cuetara in Washington, and I'll have all the details coming up.
An archaeologist found human remains at a downtown park. How descendant groups will honor them today.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, it is a humid 82 degrees. Mike compared it to a steam bath, but we have some promising news just ahead.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And good morning. It is Tuesday. Happy September 1st.
Happy September 1st. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. And we are very excited about rain chances. I think it's time for a cool down finally, right?
It is finally time. We've turned the page to a new month, and Mike all morning has been tracking some storms way out to the west of the Alamo City.
Yeah, which really haven't started to move into our area per se, Val Verde County, not yet, but it's kind of the leading edge of some energy, if you will, and that's going to start to refire later on tonight, and that's going to give us, one of the better chances of rain that we've had around here, it seems like, in forever. Notice that fuzz around all the lights are not very crisp and clear and distinct because of all the humidity out there right now. It feels like 89 degrees when you step outside here in town. It feels like 95 in Gonzales, 93 in New Braunfels. The humidity, you open the door, it seems like it just pushes back, basically. It's so thick out there. There's those storms out to the west that we were talking about, and yeah, a couple of them, again, well out beyond Val Verde County. Most are sliding up to the kind of northeast, and most of those are also going to be working their way, or sort of dying down, I should say, before they really work their way into our area throughout the morning. Now, later on this afternoon, we do have a heat advisory in effect, pretty much along I-35 and down to the southeast. It does not include the hill country. It just won't be quite as hot in parts of the hill country. CPS Energy is asking that you cut back on energy use between 3 and 7 this afternoon. Molds on the low side. As far as temperatures, we are in the upper 70s, low 80s. Going to stay pretty steady all morning long. Those very high heat index readings. Temperatures are anywhere from about 7 to 10 degrees above normal right now. And then by noon, make it up into the low 90s, and still some of those stubborn clouds around here. High temperature up to 100, but of course it will feel much hotter than that, about 105 to 110, even higher in some areas. It is an encouraging forecast, even though we're going to be triple digits today. Those rain chances tonight and some more rain chances down the road. We'll talk about that and take a look ahead to the long Labor Day weekend coming up in just a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic right now. Officer Marcus Trujillo. Whole different situation than what we had yesterday. I know there are lots going on. Nothing today?
No, it's been great this morning. Just pleasant out there on the roadways. No delays. A couple spots where some construction is still lingering, but with the traffic being so light right now, no delays in anyone's travel times. Now, there's some of that construction there, I-10 Ralph Fair Road, but not too many folks out there early this morning. 410 at Austin Highway on the northeast side, looking pretty good with no problems here. I-10 at Callahan. Mark and Stephanie.
Thank you, sir. We begin this half hour with the latest on human remains recently discovered during an archaeological investigation at a downtown park.
They are set to be removed today after a ceremony. Our Sarah Costa joins us live. Now, Sarah, where exactly did researchers find these remains?
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. They were found at Milam Park next to Market Square and Santa Rosa Street near West Commerce and West Houston Streets. Later this morning, a brief spiritual ceremony from the 1718 San Antonio founding families and descendant group is scheduled to happen before crews exhume those remains. The remains will then be moved to be temporarily stored at the UTSA Center for Archaeological Research to await reinterment. The Public Works Department says the Bexar County District Court granted the city's petition for today's process. The city will not re-enter the human remains until construction of all 3 projects are completed which is scheduled for the summer of 2023. Now, once it is completed and the crews have a better understanding of the project area, the city plans to meet with all descendant groups to discuss the reinterment efforts. Now, a spiritual ceremony will take place sometime this morning between 8:30 and 10 o'clock. Stephanie, Mark.
Thank you, Sarah. Also in your latest news, a family demanding someone step forward and turn themselves in after a 17-year-old was killed. San Antonio police say Xavier Esquivel was driving a car at an intersection at the corner of Olive and Aransas when someone shot at least 20 rounds into his vehicle. 3 others were in the car as well, all struck by gunfire. Unfortunately, the soon-to-be mother of Esquivel's unborn child was killed as well. Family says they are in pain knowing their family is enduring yet another loss. Police believe the suspects responsible were driving a white Chevy Tahoe with shot-out windows. If you have any information that can lead to an arrest, call the homicide unit for San Antonio Police. That number 210-207-7635.
And just northeast of San Antonio, police in Garden Ridge need your help finding the man who killed a convenience store clerk back on July 29th. Now, officers say a man wearing a red bandana and armed with a gun went to the Easy Mart and shot the clerk, Pollyanna Smotherman. That suspect took off with cash and lottery tickets. Comal County Crime Stoppers offering a $10,000 reward in the case, but that reward is set to expire on September 27th. If you can help in that case, you are asked to call 830-620-TIPS. In the latest involving the coronavirus here in Bexar County, the risk meter is dropping down between safe and moderate. Bexar County had 40 new cases reported, with the positivity rate dropping as well from 9.9% to now 7.8%. The number of COVID-19 patients hospitalized has increased to 386. 155 are in the intensive care unit. 95 are on ventilators. Another 7 deaths were confirmed. Some of those deaths occurred between July 2nd and July 29th. We now have a total of 809 deaths in Bexar County since the pandemic started.
A center meant to help those facing substance abuse here in our area facing another obstacle in their recovery. A COVID-19 outbreak was confirmed at the Applewhite Recovery Center. 30 residents there and 6 employees have tested positive. Cases were detected at the facility earlier this month. That'd be last month. With 21 cases confirmed, but another round of tests on Friday, additional positive tests came back for a total of 36 cases. None have had to be hospitalized. The facility provides services for those placed on probation.
The South Texas Blood and Tissue Center is in desperate need of donations right now. The center says we have only a little more than 2.5 days of supply for most blood types. Now, it's even less for life-saving O positive and O negative blood types. Yesterday, the center held another blood drive at Johnson High School with more than 100 donors scheduled to give blood.
It's a lot of people that need blood, and we have the ability to come and donate today, so we just took time out of our schedule to come donate.
If you are interested in giving blood, you don't have to wait for the next drive. You can head to southtexasblood.org to sign up or to donate. And a reminder, if you make an appointment, you are asked to stick to it. As the fall campaign swings into full gear, Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden accusing President Donald Trump of failing to keep Americans safe amid the COVID-19 pandemic.
Well, now President Trump is striking back. ABC's Inez Telequatera is in Washington with the latest.
With the election now 63 days away, Democratic nominee Joe Biden hitting the campaign trail and accusing the president of failing to keep Americans safe.
We're facing multiple crises. Crises under Donald Trump have kept multiplying.
Biden arguing Trump is a failed leader for his mishandling of the pandemic.
Do you know what people are afraid of in America? They're afraid they're going to get COVID. They're afraid they're going to get sick and die. And that is in no small part because of you.
And shrugging off the president's accusations that he is soft on crime.
Ask yourself, do I look like a radical socialist with a soft spot for rioters? Really? I want a safe America.
President Trump hitting back.
We have to stop this horrible left-wing ideology that seems to be permeating our country. And basically it's weakness. It's weakness on behalf of Democrat politicians.
Trump set to visit Kenosha, Wisconsin today, which is at the heart of a new wave of protests in the aftermath of Jacob Blake's shooting. But Wisconsin's governor and Kenosha's mayor urging President Trump to stay away, arguing his visit would do little to heal the city's wounds. Overnight, the president said he still plans to go.
It could increase love and respect for our country.
The president also defended Kyle Rittenhouse, the teenager accused of fatally shooting 2 demonstrators in Kenosha.
He was trying to get away from them, I guess. He probably would have been killed. It's under investigation.
Trump did say he does not believe private citizens should be taking up arms at protests, but he declined to condemn a caravan of his supporters in Portland who clashed with protesters demanding racial justice. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News, Washington.
In your morning headlines, investigators offered the suspect in the Breonna Taylor a plea deal. In a Facebook post, Taylor's family attorney Sam Aguiar claims Jamarcus Glover was offered a plea deal in July. Glover admitted Taylor was part of an organized crime ring. As part of the offer, Glover was to acknowledge over a period of time through April 22nd, he and several co-defendants, including Taylor, engaged in organized crime by trafficking large amounts of narcotics. While Taylor was not named as co-defendant in the final version of the plea deal, it did call on Glover to say that her apartment was used to store proceeds of the trafficking operation. Glover has said previously that Taylor was not involved in any drug operation.
The Federal Bureau of Prisons will begin allowing inmates to have visitors again in October. This is months after visits were suspended at the 122 federal prisons across the U.S. In a detailed plan, wardens are instructed to immediately begin developing local procedures to reinstate social visiting. The visits are set to begin no later than October 3rd, though physical contact will be prohibited and other measures will be enacted to ensure social distancing. Visitation at federal prisons was suspended in March in response to coronavirus concerns.
611, 82 degrees.
And still ahead, details on a potential TikTok deal, the bidder that has been chosen for its U.S. access.
Look at local restaurants. They got perfect scores on health inspections coming up in a return of Best of Behind the Kitchen Door.
And taking a look outside with live cam, it is humid right now. It is 82 degrees, but we have promising rain ahead, and Mike will talk all about it just ahead.
Welcome back. Just about 6:15. It's time for a return of Best of Behind the Kitchen Door perfect restaurant scores from around San Antonio. Believe it or not, we haven't done one of these since way back on March 11th. But let's take a look at some recent perfect scores for restaurants around San Antonio, including Aldino Cucina Italiana over there on Loop 1604. Congratulations. Also on a list, Bowl and Barrel out at the Rim Shopping Center, 17,000 block of La Cantera Parkway. Moving along, we have the McDonald's over there, 5700 Walsham Road on the northeast side. Big Lou's Pizza, pretty famous place, 2048 South W.W. White. And finally, a score submitted to us here at KSAT, Ruthie's Mexican Restaurant. Congratulations on your perfect score. They are located at 11423 West Avenue. If your place got a perfect score, let us know. Send me an email, bkd@ksat.com. Steph?
Very cool. Thank you, Mark. And Google introducing a new family-friendly tablet mode called KidSpace. It recommends apps, books, and videos that help children learn as well as play, and it has parental control options. KidSpace will be available on certain tablets this fall and more devices later.
Let's check traffic at 6:16. Here is Officer Marcus Trujillo.
Well, so far we've been very fortunate. No accidents all morning long. Taking a look at a couple of TransGuide cameras. 35 is looking pretty good from way out there. 35 Olympia Parkway all the way into the downtown vicinity. But it looks like 35 at Evans there still have a couple of construction barrels out there. Highway 9036. So far, no issues there.
Great news. Thank you, Marcus.
Let's look at great news for weather. We are so excited about hearing about rain.
Yeah, we are, and we've got some decent rain chances for later on tonight and then also down the road a couple of days. So, and that's going to help with the temperatures as well. So it looks like we're finally really kind of getting out of this triple digit, just intense heat sort of pattern. Humidity will still be sticking around, but these temperatures will be down a little bit. Temperatures this morning, we're pretty much going to stay steady. Upper 70s, some low 80s around there at about almost 10 degrees to that, and that's what it feels like. And then after school today, 100, partly cloudy skies, but again, with the humidity, it is going to feel much, much hotter than that. So the moon is almost full. Technically, it is going to be full tomorrow, and this is a beautiful view. It's about 8 o'clock. And of course, just as the sun, when it's in its full moon stage, just as the sun is going down to the west, the moon is coming up in the east. And also, this is not going to be the harvest moon. It's not just automatically the September full moon. It's the full moon closest to the equinox, which is not until later on in September. And so the full moon on October 1st is going to be the harvest moon. By the way, also this year, October has a blue moon on the 30th on Halloween. It's going to be a blue moon, the second full moon of the calendar month, but that's not until October. All right, we do have, well, you can see kind of that. It's not the distinct, I always point this out, the distinct lights of the city because there's so much humidity out there. Now, as far as the rainfall for August, of course, it was dry. We only picked up about half or a little bit less than half of what we should have. But going back into the summer months, and the meteorological summer is June, July, and August. And we should have had, almost 9 inches of rain. We were 7 inches below what we should have had, only picked up about less than 2 inches of rain, and almost more than half of that, or almost half of that, came just in the month of August. So June and July were bone dry out there. And then going back throughout the entire year, as you can see, the big deficit was in the summertime because we had that really, really wet May. And so we are 5 inches, almost 6 inches behind for the year thus far. But it has been a dry summer, and it looks like we're finally, like I said, going to be getting a little bit of rain around here. We do have some showers and thunderstorms out to the west right now. They'll probably be falling apart again in the next hour or so. But then later on today, what's encouraging is we do have some more rain chances. Some more energy is going to be coming on in here from the west. This is going to be about dinner time, and then throughout the evening hours, more of these showers will continue to develop, move their way from west to east. Even a couple of heftier downpours can't be ruled out. Now, of course, the ground is so dry, it seems like everything's just going to be soaking in like a dry sponge, but still there could be, again, a heavier downpour here and there, maybe in some low-lying areas, some high water crossing, something like that. Also, we're going to have to watch out for some wind tonight because with the way the atmosphere is set up, could have some pretty hefty downdrafts with some of these thunderstorms as they move through. So that's going to be in the overnight hours. And tomorrow morning, maybe a few leftover showers around here. And then throughout the afternoon, we'll still have a couple of showers. Not a great chance in the first portion of the day, but I think later on in the day we get a little bit better chance for some rain. And then that's also going to be the situation into tomorrow night. And then also Thursday, looks like we get another sort of wave of some rain moving on through here. Now, like I said, some of the storms tonight could have some pretty hefty winds. And so there is the marginal risk for a severe storm out in northwestern portions of the hill country. Wouldn't be surprised if this kind of gets edged down a little bit when the Storm Prediction Center comes out with their updated outlook for today. It's just a guess on my part. Now, as far as the forecast today, 92 degrees at noon, partly cloudy skies, and then a high temperature, 100 again today. It'll feel like it's well up about 105, 110, so that's why the heat advisory goes into effect up through 8 o'clock tonight for the southeastern, about 2/3 of our viewing area, pretty much along I-35. Tomorrow, we've got about a 30% chance for some rain overnight tonight into tomorrow, and then also tomorrow night, early on Thursday. But then Thursday, I don't think quite during the day is good a chance. Temperatures will make a slow decline. I'm looking at some, call it mid to lower 90s by the weekend with some extra clouds around here. And I think the better chances of rain come back in Friday, Saturday, and still leaving a stray shower on Sunday as well.
Do you see lower 70s versus lower 80s in the morning?
What a treat.
Yeah, that'll be nice too.
It would be really nice. It's even cooler than that.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Possibly.
Next week. Yeah.
Okay.
Looking forward to it.
We're not ready to go there just yet.
Right.
621, 82 degrees.
And Liberty University has announced an independent investigation into its former president, Jerry Falwell Jr. Details on the allegations the evangelical leader is now facing. That's next on GMSA.
Here's your secret word of the day. Enter it on KSAT.com/Circle K for a monthly chance to win free gas for a year. Every entry wins a free iced coffee. Win with Circle K and GMSA.
Right now at Kohl's, take an extra 15% off on top of great sale prices. Get women's tops, just $10.20. Adidas shoes for the family are just $48.74 and under. And save on Sonoma bath towels. Plus, get Kohl's Cash. Plus, free store pickup. Shop Kohl's and Kohl's.com.
Hey, can I
Hold on 1 second.
Sure.
Okay. Safe driver, save 40%. Guys.
Check it out. Safe drivers save 40%.
Safe driver, save 40%.
Safe drivers save 40%.
That's safe driver, save 40%.
It is. That's Safe Driver Save 40%.
It's right there.
It's him. He's here.
He's right here. Hi.
Hi.
Hey. That's totally him.
That's him.
That's totally the guy.
Safe drivers do save 40%. Click or call for a quote today.
The sun is pretty incredible. It makes Lipton green tea better and these lemons better, which makes this taste better. You definitely need the sun for that and that. With antioxidant vitamin C and 50% fewer calories, choose Lipton green tea today.
In this morning's GMA First Look, Liberty University announcing an independent investigation into its former president, Jerry Falwell Jr., after the embattled evangelical leader resigned amid an alleged sex scandal. The Board of Trustees issuing a statement last night, now calling for a thorough investigation into all financial, real estate, and legal matters while Falwell was at the helm of the school. His exit coming after an explosive news story about Falwell, his wife Becky, and a pool attendant and former business partner, Giancarlo Granda. The 29-year-old claiming he had a 7-year affair with Becky as Falwell at times looked on. Falwell denies any involvement.
He was aware from day one of our relationship.
So what could this investigation mean for Falwell? It's all coming up at 7 a.m. with your GMA First Look. I'm Kira Phillips, ABC News, New York.
Amazon Prime Air drones have almost been completely cleared for takeoff. The service received a certificate from the FAA over the weekend to allow drone deliveries here in the U.S. Amazon can begin making test drop-offs to customers. The service already operates in the United Kingdom.
Plus, it looks like there is a potential buyer for TikTok. Reports say a deal for the app's U.S. operations could be announced as soon as today. Oracle and Microsoft, in partnership with Walmart, are the top contenders. The sale price is expected to be at least $20 billion.
Big reveal coming today from Samsung. The tech giant unveils the Galaxy Z Fold 2 at a virtual event. It's expected to include a redesigned hinge, an improved front-facing display, and 5G. Pre-orders for the newest foldable phone also start today.
I would not be able to handle that phone because I would break it.
Would you?
Yes.
The foldable part?
Yes.
Yeah.
I used to have hey guys, a long time ago, a Samsung with the little.
Was it the Razr?
Yes.
Yes.
I would break that all the time, but I loved my Razr.
They just need to be droppable because we always drop them.
Yes, I do at least. Time now 6:26 and 82 degrees.
Still ahead, learning about the history of voting in Texas and why some of these voting laws may be at the very least outdated.
Plus, TABC is easing up on restrictions for bars and restaurants. Our Sarah Costa will join us with the details businesses need to know.
And checking the roads with TransGuide, we're noticing heavy traffic flow. There's 410, there's I-10 at Callahan. More folks on the roads. We'll see if there are any accidents coming up in just a couple of minutes at the bottom of the hour. You're watching GMSA.
And right now at 6:30, the number of coronavirus cases across the United States has just topped 6 million. Our Sarah Costa will have the latest from medical experts.
Outside with live cam, pretty typical start to the day. The only big change is we are in a new month, but there are some changes on the horizon. We're sticking with that general theme with our meteorological team. Good morning to you. It is Tuesday. It is September 1st.
Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Hope you had a great Monday and happy Tuesday for today. I am very excited about the rain chances and for a slight drop in the temperatures.
Yeah, any of that, we'll take it. We'll talk to Mike in a second. Actually, right now, and then traffic coming up.
Yeah, we've got some rain chances starting tonight and then more later on in the week. And yes, temperatures will make a slow decline. We're not looking at any big fronts or anything like that this week, but at least we're not looking at triple digits once the week gets going here a little bit more. I tell you one thing, walking outside this morning was actually physically, it was like there was this just wall of just moisture that was hard to get through because the humidity is so high. We've got these dew points again, the measure moisture in the atmosphere. This is how you factor relative humidity. And when you're up in the mid and upper 70s, it is just beyond steam bath out there. Now, we do have a few showers and some thunderstorms. Nothing has really crept into Val Verde County as of yet. A few more are developing here just around the Big Bend area over in Mexico, and those may work their way up in here, but these are not going to be the ones that move in here throughout the day. We'll have some more energy that's going to be firing up, and that will come in here later on. We do have another heat advisory in effect. Everybody except the hill country. Heat index reading is going to be about 105, 110, or even higher than that in some areas. And CPS Energy is asking that you cut back on energy usage later on this afternoon between 3 and 7 o'clock. Mold is on the low side this morning and extremely humid. We keep a lot of humidity around today, so therefore we'll have those heat index readings, like I said, 105 to 110 tonight. A few showers and thunderstorms are going to be developing starting about dinner time out to the west and then working their way from west to east, and mainly northern half of our viewing area. And some of those could be on the strong, potentially severe side. Some high winds are possible with that. And then highs do make a slow decline, and we do have a few more showers going into the rest of the week. We'll take a look ahead at the long Labor Day weekend coming up in a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic right now. And Officer Marcus Trujillo, and boy, it's 180. Oh, we do have a new accident?
We do have a problem. Start to see that little bit of yellow there, Mike? That's going to be turning red here shortly. And that's because of that accident. So we're looking at the northbound, it says southbound here, but it's northbound main lanes of 35 here in the downtown area. Major accident, does involve a motorcycle as well, so we have a number of emergency vehicles out there. So as soon as we can get this cleared up and out of the way, we get some of that congestion cleared up. But as you saw on the map just a minute ago, already starting to see backups at the I-10-35 split. Mark and Stephanie?
Thank you, Marcus. New this morning, San Antonio police looking for people involved in two separate crimes that took place not too far away from each other. Let's take a look. First one happened back on July 27th at a convenience store in the 5300 block of Thousand Oaks off of Wurzbach Parkway. Police say this man in the photos walked into the convenience store and used a stolen credit or debit card to pay for items. Officers say that card was stolen at a robbery that happened earlier that same day.
The second robbery happened back on August 11th in the parking lot near Buffalo Wild Wings just past Walsham Road. Police say a woman had fallen asleep in her car while her son was working to get help changing her car's flat tire. The woman told police two men reached into her car and began taking items from her car while she slept. Police say the woman woke up and tried to fight them off. These two men in these photos ran off. If you have any information that could lead to an arrest, you are asked to call Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP.
A special compliance team has been buckling down on local bars and restaurants not following county and state COVID-19 orders.
23 citations were handed out to 12 restaurants and 5 restaurant bars over the weekend. Our Sarah Costa joins us live with the details. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. Yes, this comes as many bar owners looked for ways to reopen their shuttered businesses. The Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission has been easing restrictions to help bars be able to open with a food and beverage certificate. The latest amendment eliminates the need for a commercial kitchen. It also allows prepackaged food to be sold or the use of a food truck on bar property. 51% of the business sales have to come from food or merchandise, not alcohol. The owner of Main Street Bar says it's quite a task for bars, but he has to try or risk closing.
Now we're going to have to branch out a little bit and try to offer some entrees and be a food forward type of business in order to run, or just to be allowed to open.
The new certification cost almost $800. You can read more about this story right now on KSAT.com. Well, meanwhile, in the U.S., hitting another historical high in the coronavirus pandemic, 6 million confirmed cases. But health experts say there is some good news. COVID-19 cases continue to rise. Just over 7 months ago, no one in the U.S. had a confirmed case. Now the U.S. has topped 6 million cases. That's according to Johns Hopkins University. The somber reality that comes with those numbers, more than 183,000 people in the U.S. have died. In Los Angeles Monday, Memorial honored more than 5,700 people who have died in that county alone. But despite those high numbers, there is some good news.
So as a nation, we are clearly doing better now on the last day of August than we were on the first day of August. The cases have come down. Deaths are starting to decline. Hospitalizations are down. This is good news.
Colleges across the country are working to stay ahead of the outbreaks as some students return to campus. A New York university canceled in-person classes for at least 2 weeks after an outbreak there. That outbreak is linked to a large party. School leaders say dozens of students have been suspended for violating the code of conduct.
We have already suspended dozens of our students for violating codes of conduct. We have to instill in people that it's not just your actions. Your actions have consequences on everyone else. It could impact our faculty and get them sick. It can impact the student body population. So we're going to keep reinforcing that message, saying we want to keep these colleges open.
3 vaccines are now in phase 3 trials in the U.S. Even so, health officials say a vaccine probably won't be publicly available until at least early 2021. And there are only 2 other nations with more than 1 million reported cases. Both Brazil and India have more than 3 million cases. Mark and Stephanie.
All right, thank you, Sarah. President Donald Trump is planning to visit Kenosha, Wisconsin today. Kenosha has seen frequent protesting since the August 23rd police-involved shooting of Jacob Blake.
Other stories we're following on KSAT.com, an international construction and engineering firm headquartered here in San Antonio, facing what could become a class action lawsuit. Zachary Group says it's all over the management of its 401k retirement plan. Story first published through a partnership with the San Antonio Business Journal. They filed a complaint against the firm a couple of weeks ago in federal court. In the complaint, the plaintiffs alleged the firm failed to review the plan's investment portfolio and kept certain funds. Zachary Group has not responded to the Business Journal's request for comment on the suit.
Right now, Bexar County schools are trying to figure out how and when to return to campus. Back early in August, Metro Health recommended learning should stay virtual until Labor Day. As that holiday nears, the school safety indicator has improved to moderate. That allows schools to begin bringing students back on campus. In the moderate level, groups of 6 or fewer students are recommended, but building and classroom capacity should not exceed 25%. We reached out to Bexar County school districts about their plans following Labor Day. You can read everything about that on our homepage at KSAT.com.
Right now, 6:39, 82 degrees.
And coming up next, learning the history of voter rights here in Texas and why some of those laws might be outdated decades later.
6:42 on your September 1st. Records expect to be broken this election season as more people head out to vote. But access to the polls is still a concern for some here in Texas.
Our RJ Marcus talked with a professor at Trinity University about the history of voter rights in Texas.
Texas traditionally has had some of the strictest laws for voting rights and access in the country. Dr. Carey, an associate professor of history at Trinity University, traces many of these issues to the end of the Civil War.
When you look at Texas kind of as a whole, it has a lot of similarities in regards to minority rights, minority voting rights, as you would see in the South.
Even though the 15th Amendment in 1870 granted African-American men the right to vote, Lattimore said many Southern legislators still found loopholes.
You can't theoretically take away a person's right to vote, but you can create barriers towards their right to vote. And so things like poll taxes, grandfather clauses, literacy tests, all of those things in southern states are created.
With the Voting Rights Act of 1965, state and local governments were no longer allowed to impose new voting laws or language that discriminated against minority groups. One key part of the act was preclearance, which meant that certain states like Texas had to get the government's permission before making any changes to their voting laws. But in 2013, the Supreme Court weakened preclearance protections, and that led to some of the voting laws we see now. Texas's voter ID law is considered to be one of the strictest in the country. The back and forth in the courts has led to confusion at the polls, especially for Hispanic communities.
The use of fear and the discussions about illegality may lead people who may not be exactly sure whether they're allowed to vote or not.
The mail-in ballot debate continues in the courts, and there is no online or same-day voter registration. Texas has also removed hundreds of polling sites over the years, many in poor or minority neighborhoods.
These are things that seem to be more of a roadblock than something that's intended to enhance access. If we say that elections matter, then we should have more polls than less.
Lattimore says registering voters is also a key issue.
Texas makes very hard to do is to be to become a volunteer deputy registrar, you have to go through a large process, and you have to go through a process in every county.
In Bexar County, there are now more than 1 million registered voters. Lattimore said despite these restrictions, it's important for people to learn about how to register and vote with as much knowledge as possible.
That's when you become true citizens and active in the process, is when you know what you're doing, who you're voting for, and why. Don't take your vote for granted. So many people have died for that privilege.
RJ Marcus, KSAT 12 News.
I have a traffic alert on an incident here on 35 in the downtown area.
Let's get the latest with Officer Marcus Trujillo.
And we do have problems here, folks. Take a look. Let's go to the map first. You can see that backup now affecting eastbound I-10 coming into the downtown area. So not only northbound main lanes at 35, but eastbound I-10 before you even reach 35. So if you're northbound on 35 coming from the south side, before you get to that 35 and I-10 split, expect to see some brake lights out there. And this is that accident in the clearing stages, as you see right there. This is the 35 at Main camera shooting over to 35 at Brooklyn. So hopefully we'll get this cleared up fairly quickly, get them out of the way, all moving along, and get traffic restored once again.
We hope so. Thank you, Marcus.
Mike, good morning. What do you have for us this morning, sir?
Good morning. Well, I was just going to mention right at 6:30 when I tossed to traffic, and you said that yellow was going to be turning red shortly, and called that one. So with all that traffic out there. First of all, full moon is technically tomorrow, but it is still gorgeous in these pictures. Beautiful full moon at sunset. Again, it comes up in the east right as the sun is going down in the west when it's full. And wow, you can just see the humidity kind of hanging over time. I keep mentioning that all morning long. And then you look at the heat index readings. The normal high temperature this time of year here in town is 94 degrees. It feels like 89 right now. It feels like 95 in Gonzales, and 92 is the heat index right now in Pleasanton. We do have a few showers and thunderstorms out to the west, and some of those may work their way off the mountains of Mexico there around Big Bend into Valverde County, but these will kind of die down later on this morning. But again, there's more energy out here that will be moving in here later on today. So this computer model does have that firing up way out to the west about dinner time, and then the line of showers and even a couple of thunderstorms working their way across here. A couple of heavier downpours are possible, and also some gusty winds are going to be possible with this. And then that will continue on into the overnight hours, start to die down just a little bit. We'll have a few of these showers around throughout the day tomorrow, and a couple of more are going to be firing up. It looks like maybe another little bit of energy trying to move in here late tomorrow night and then into Thursday. Now, as far as the chance for any severe weather, the Storm Prediction Center has the marginal risk for a couple of maybe strong to severe storms. Again, heavy high winds with those strong downdrafts are what would make any of these storms potentially severe. So that's something to watch out for. All right, jump ahead a little bit into the future, different computer model, and it is encouraging to see. Now, this doesn't mean it's going to be raining constantly, but we do have a couple of more rain chances on Thursday, Friday as well. I think better rain chance Friday and also on Saturday. We'll have some showers around, looks like Saturday morning. Now, again, this doesn't mean it's going to be raining everywhere or constantly, but we will have those rain chances around, and then maybe just a couple of leftover showers around here on Sunday. So at least we're starting to see some of those rain chances come into the picture. So the forecast today, we are going to be up to 92 degrees today at noon, and then high temperature today, once again, up to 100. Starting off the month on a kind of an infamous note, the heat index is going to be about 105 to 110, so that's prompting the heat advisory for all of the area except for the hill country up until 8 o'clock tonight. Now, tomorrow, 98, and we have some of those showers and thunderstorms overnight into early on tomorrow morning on Wednesday, and then Thursday, we'll still have a couple of showers around here, and I think another somewhat better chance of rain is going to be on Friday and Saturday, and with some more cloud cover around here, subtle changes, temperatures will be dropping down a little bit closer to normal readings.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. And one more. Thank you. Dankeschön. 649, 82 degrees.
And taking control of your financial future. Tomorrow on GMSA, we look at some ways you can take charge of your funds to avoid going broke later on.
Outside with live cam, the news you need to know before you go, and an update on that major accident on 35 down here in the downtown area. We'll check with Marcus coming up. Study shows coronavirus infections are increasing faster among children than adults.
And while parents and teachers focus on schools, sports fans now have something new to focus on. ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi has the latest.
This morning, the U.S. Open underway and under wraps.
I have more matches under my belt with no fans than I do with fans.
Competitors and coaches now living in a bubble in 2 hotels. No fans in the stadium and players facing a grueling testing schedule after Benoit Paire was forced to withdraw.
You know, it is unfortunate we had a player test positive yesterday, but it's not unexpected.
Just a few miles away, a brewing battle over classes reopening in the nation's largest school district. New York City teachers threatening to vote as early as today on whether to go on strike for the first time in nearly 50 years amid concerns about COVID safety protocols.
We'll know shortly over the next couple of days if we're going to have a major war.
In Massachusetts, these teachers refusing to enter their school during preparations for the students' return, instead working outside on picnic tables and beach chairs. Their school committees now pursuing legal action against them. As for schools already online,
you're going to see your teacher on Monday morning. You're going to engage with your teacher every day during a regular schedule.
New concerns about some kids getting left behind. Photos of children searching for internet service and drawing national attention, including this photo of kids sitting in a Taco Bell parking lot for the free Wi-Fi. Despite a drop in daily coronavirus cases, deaths are on the rise in 25 states. In Detroit, the city's nearly 1,000 victims honored Monday with special funeral processions, along with hundreds of billboards showing the faces of those lost. But in Texas this morning, a symbol of hope.
I thought that only my baby was going to survive. I didn't think I was.
A mother giving birth to a healthy baby just 2 months after battling the virus. She credits a plasma donation and her daughter for her incredible recovery.
She's my motivation. She kept me going. I didn't want to lose my baby.
Mona Kosar Abdi, ABC News, New York.
It's now 5 minutes till 7.
Let's take one last look at traffic with Officer Marcus Trujillo.
And as we take a look at the roadways, still have that major accident northbound 35 right there. Now, this is after the upper and lower level split. On the upper deck, you have that left-hand lane that does merge off for northbound 35. That's where that accident's located. As you can see, folks being diverted to 281. Mike?
Thank you, sir. Get ready when you step outside because, again, boy, the humidity is just going to kind of push back. It's so humid out there. It feels like 93 in New Braunfels, 95 in Gonzales right now with all that humidity. Heat advisory, beg your pardon, is in effect up until 8 o'clock tonight with those heat index readings getting up to about 105 to 110. And we will have some showers and thunderstorms developing later on tonight and in the overnight hours. And then do have some rain chances around tomorrow. A couple of them on Thursday, a little bit better shot Friday and Saturday, and temperatures should be staying right around mid-90s on average.
That's a 7 days we can like in that forecast, yes. Mike.
Yeah, it's nice that other than today with the new month, we've got a change in the weather pattern.
Very excited about that. Thank you, Mike. We'll see you guys back here at 9.
Thanks for joining us.